everybody, and welcome to this edition of Super Dwarf Sunday. I'm Lori with Behavior Education. This is TC from Reach Out Reptiles. Today is Sunday, October 6, 2019, and this edition of Super Dwarf Sunday is going to be all about how TC taught me patience and how he reminded me that it's very important for us as keepers to give our animals the choice and control to say no to us when they're not feeling up to engaging in activities and when they don't feel like interacting. It's extremely important that any interaction with us, unless it's an emergency of course, be kept voluntary so that they associate us with positive experiences and that they don't start to see us as an aversive stimulus. Hi everybody, it's Lori with Behavior Education, and as you can see, my intern and I have just finished doing an enclosure clean out of Taucetti's living habitat, and we have taken everything out of the enclosure and cleaned all his water dishes and his humidity boxes and refreshed those. The only thing that I put in that we didn't clean are these 2 paper towel rolls, which do smell a little bit musky. I want to leave these in here so that he has a familiar smell inside of his enclosure. Since we completely changed the bedding and completely rinsed out his water containers, I didn't want to also take these out and put new ones in, so he can still smell familiar smells, mostly himself, on these. And I also didn't clean the hide because we don't want him to have a completely 100% new smelling enclosure. We want familiar scents in there for him so that he feels comfortable. Another thing I really want to talk about today is how important it is to make your animals feel like they have the ability to engage with you when they want and that they can say no when they don't feel like engaging. And TC last week and the week before had a really active week. He visited our exercise space and spent some time out there. He got weighed, he got handled and carried quite a bit. Then he ate a couple of big meals in the interim. And that was all happening in the couple weeks after he shed. And so this week he's been very quiet. And I engaged him in a puzzle feeding activity that he wasn't too thrilled about. During one of his target training sessions, he said no to that. And he has just not really wanted to engage this week. And if you can see, he's up here on one of his shelves, and that's where he's been since yesterday. So what we don't want to do, even though it'd be nice to hold him and get him out and maybe weigh him again and engage him in more exercise, I don't want to force that. I want it to be his choice whether or not he comes out and engages with us or whether he engages in his environment. And he has the ability to say no to us if he wants, and that's what he's doing. We've completely cleaned out his enclosure. He has stuck his head over this ledge a few times and he's tongue flicked at me, so he knows we're here. But he's chosen to stay up there. I really appreciate that he's not exhibiting red zone behaviors, which means he's not trying to actively get away. He's not so frightened that he's eliminating on himself or on us. He's not biting, he's not striking, he's not hissing. He's just quietly sitting up there telling us, hey, I feel safe here on my shelf and I just want to stay here. And it's important that we as keepers make sure that they have places where they do feel safe and they know when they're in those places that we are not going to disturb them. that they have the autonomy to go there and feel 100% confident that they are safe and secure, and we're not going to forcibly remove them or bother them when they're up there. And that's clearly how he feels about this shelf. So the last thing I want to do is clean that shelf now, or take that shelf down, or remove him from that shelf. I just want to leave him alone and really thank him and appreciate the fact that we just did a total enclosure clean with him quietly sitting on his shelf. And we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Today's Friday, October 4th, 2019. We'll see if he decides that he wants to engage with us between now and when we publish our Super Dwarf Sunday video, but if not, that's okay too. It's just as important for us as animal trainers and keepers and students of animal behavior to understand that these are living beings. They're not for us to do with as we please. They should have the ability to tell us, no, I don't feel like doing that right now, and we should respect that.
Can't go underneath there, okay? No, I don't want you going underneath there.
Sure that TC would be up to engaging at all this week when we made our Super Dwarf Sunday video, and that you guys just might see me talking to you about how we cleaned his enclosure and how he pretty much told us to leave him alone, that he wasn't in the mood to interact with us or to engage with us this week. I was really happy to see that over the last couple of days he started coming to his enclosure door, and that when I opened the door he was coming down from his perch, and that he was coming out on his ledge. And then today for Super Dwarf Sunday, he actually exited his enclosure voluntarily on his own, and he did some climbing around in the room, around the general vicinity of his enclosure, and he was willing to engage with me. And he's exhibiting mostly green zone behaviors, meaning that he's casually draped on my arm, that his body's toned but not tense. He's not tightly coiling around me like he's worried, and those are all behaviors that are green zone. The only yellow zone behaviors that I see, which are behaviors that would indicate that he is a little bit outside of his comfort zone, is the fact that, I don't know where he is now, that he has just tried to casually get away a couple of times. But other than that, he's being pretty good tonight about our interaction and about voluntarily engaging with me. So I don't want to keep him out too long, and he's already been out of his enclosure for about a half an hour exploring the room. And so I'm going to give him the choice to go back in if he wants to. Well, thanks for watching this episode of Super Dwarf Sunday. Join us next weekend for another episode. We'll see what TC has to offer us this week and what lessons he can teach me that I can then impart to you. Until next time, everybody, love your animals and have a great week.